picks again.
Yeah, we see Team Spirit coming out and trying something a bit different, a bit new. Very interesting to see the swap out there towards the end, putting the Storm in and saying, okay, this is going to be Collapse on Kunkka. We've seen Kunkka fill every single role this tournament, pretty much, at least on the core roles. We've seen it mid, carry, offlane. I think they have a pretty nice draft to play early aggression. Like Winter pointed out, this lineup comes online really early with the Clinks able to make moves. And this game, by the way, it started before the draft even. There was some Bristleback talk, you know, in the interview. There was also a Bristleback emote being spammed or being put out in the lobby chat by Amar. So the Bristol first phase ban, I think he got in their head before the game started, Gareth. He was there
he was
doing the prep work.
He was saying he went back and looked, you know, his friend told him they're first banning Bristle against you. And he's like, yeah, they're doing it and they're insta-doing it as well. It's not just a bit of deliberation thinking. It is a straight-up Bristle ban against Amar every single time. And yeah, with good reason. This time around on the Beastmaster, though, and one of these heroes that, like Richie said, very high win rate alongside the Ancient Apparition, because AA loves this kind of open map where you can find pickoffs globally, and Raw helps you out tremendously as well. But on this AA topic, I want to say Team Spirit, looking at this AA, they have made one of the best heroes of this tournament look like he's going to have a really rough game, huh?
Yeah, they have. They have fantastic heroes for jumping in. The Clinks can sneak in there. Tusk can roll in, of course. And then you have the Storm Spirit. The biggest threat in the mid game is going to be that he can get on snaking. So snaking really has to work his positioning. But this is a master at positioning. The man plays Crystal Maiden in current year. You know, that tells you enough that he is fine playing these squishy heroes. He's happy with
it.
But yeah, I do want to point out that AA, he's got multiple partners in this game as well that he can pair up his ulti with. I'm always a big fan of that, always looking for that. And they have 3 heroes who can initiate for the AA ulti follow-up. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, tons of this kind of open poking ability. You don't need to commit for stuff, but when you do commit, you can annihilate someone for the ultis you've got. And down in this bottom lane, Skitter and Snaking already laying it on thick. Collapse down to half health because Rue's Tusk has dragged the wave.
It's a very weak lane though, Kunkka and Tusk. It doesn't really threaten to do much at all. And if Kunkka struggles against DK mid, it's way worse when you have to be the off laner against the safe lane Dragon Knight, who has the backing of that artillery, the AA, able to just do whatever he wants. So they're doing shenanigans bottom, pulling the creep wave back, but that gives Snaking the time to get the D ward on the small camp. They're going to have a fantastic time on Radiant here down bottom.
Yeah, Rue shows up and loses about 20% of his health immediately. Let's get off with the breathe fire. But does this lane get easier for Team Spirit? Like level 1 is super hard, but do they get something at level 3, level 4? Can they fight back?
They have chances to go on AA. There are going to be timings. When they have their level 2 on Tusk, then they can look for a place, but ultimately this lane is going to be very, very Falcon favored. So I think just get what you can in terms of farm. Kunkka, get your items that you can get down here. Bigger lanes with more potential is going to be definitely top lane. So much kill potential between these two lanes. And mid, of course, also mechanically an outplay type lane.
Storm versus Ember, the classic. And for now, just gathering up their water runes, farming against each other. Ember with a slight lead out with these initial waves. And that top lane, Clinks Jakiro. So what was it? Clinks have been played once before by Tidebound and won. And this is the second game of the tournament for him. A hero that's been off the radar for a lot of teams, and myself included.
Yeah, we haven't seen it much at all. In general, it's been played like here and there. Some Eastern European teams have brought it out, and it's been more popular over in China as well. Some like Chinese teams like playing Clinks every now and then. Feels like a hero that they bring out, but not the most common hero. I think, as the panel pointed out, this is just Team Spirit trying to adapt to the tempo of Team Falcons. If you look even at average game duration, Falcons generally have much shorter games and Team Spirit a little bit slow. So it feels like they were worried about that, getting run over.
They try and meet and match the expectations, especially in game 1 of a best of 3. I show Falcons, pushovers. And so far, it's looking pretty decent for the Falcons, though. And farming on that Ember Spirit. Beastmaster having a great time top. Amar even in farm with the Clinks even. While the Dragon Knight and Kunkka kind of trailing behind a little bit down in that bottom lane.
Yeah,
I'd expect Skitter to be ahead a little bit, no?
Yeah, but they denied some creep when they pulled the creep wave back, and that was just something Skeeter can't counteract. Like, they pulled half the creep wave or on the first one, and then they denied the next creep wave. So that's like -6 creeps they could not get. So it's not really that he's been missing CS, it's just the value of pulling back like that, the way Tusk did.
A shard block on the courier as well. What's that? Crit denying a water rune, letting Quinn bottle the other, so no refill for Larl. And still sitting around mid. Miposhka's Jakiro comes in onto crit. A lot of damage from this. Man. Dual breath, liquid frost, and fire. The final touches. He's got to get up to high ground and launch another dual breath here at the Ringmaster to take him down. It looks like first blood should be there for the Jakiro.
Getting caught 1v1ing, that's not really what you want. The Ringmaster gets too close to Dragon or Jakiro, and he's gonna get time to scout out the stacks as well. So he knows that there are stacks being made. Saw both the stacks on the Ancient and the big camp. And that's the information that's valuable to have. You know that you're against the Beastmaster. Maybe you can get there and contest them.
And it's also forced crit to come across. Well, I guess he's going to stack up, but they're pinging out, expecting some vision placed down there. Miposhka placed it a little further closer to the lane, not in the triangle itself.
Yeah, Crit tried to stack, but the block on the big camp, and he actually was too late on pulling the Ancient, so didn't get either.
That's so upsetting. When you place a sentry, walk up the high ground, and the ward expires as you're about to start hitting it. Now they've seen the Ringmaster move mid, though. Amar getting chased down by this Jakiro, and Clinks, two ranged heroes just hounding the Beastmaster.
One more dual breath.
Another dual breath to go. So Amar about to be tapped down, and 2 kills for Miposhka early on in this game.
Miposhka really the man of the hour. Good positioning on the back of his kill first. They get one more. And meanwhile, mid, aggressive play coming out from Quinn. Has level 6 ahead of the Storm.
Collapse is fine bottom, and yeah, in that mid lane, Quinn going to Remnant away. Rue showed up to bodyguard Laurel. Just blood being spilled everywhere, you know. I was watching up at top as well. Crit was being forced back to his tower by Radahn and Miposhka. And we see the strength of this Jakiro. He's basically 1v2 zoning people out of lane and giving the Clinks a completely free time.
He's considering getting the Dragon Knight, but it would be hard if he goes through the gate. Instead, top, setting up on the Beastmaster.
Where's this Tusk come from? Grabs a haste rune, rotates top, snowball and tag team going, but not enough damage to finish off Amar. I would have needed Miposhka there from the get-go. He wasn't quite in time.
Yeah, he was considering that rotation towards the bottom lane. Not gonna make it. 30 seconds, we have the Wisdom Rune coming in. Rue is actually gonna go for a reset. Will die in the jungle.
And then a stun bottom. Dragon Knight starts with a Dragon Tail. They don't have the Cold Feet or any follow-through, though, so Larl's rotation with the Jakiro arriving. Skitter's aggression is going to be turned right around on him.
Feels like this is the common bane for carry players, the Wisdom rotations. People are so happy to TP to your lane because the 7-minute mark, and they want to control the rune. Ember even bailed out. He was sitting there thinking about stealing rune, but knows that there are too many heroes, goes back to mid. We've seen Radahn fall quite a few times to the same exact play, looking to be too aggressive on the rune, and in the group stage we saw him die a few times like that.
Yeah, his spend, right? The classic move, like, oh, I'm so strong, go take the Wisdom Shrine, but you get met with 3 or 4 heroes. Not a move you can really make. Now, with this Kunkka having a few levels under his belt and the backup of the 2 supports, they wrap around in onto Snaking, snipe out the Ancient Apparition. I'm not sure they can do too much in the way of structural damage, but it's going to make Skitter think twice about stepping out on the lane.
Yeah, if they can get the D ward here on the gate, would be very big for them as well. Oh, did he see it? He did see it. Miposhka pings it out. Found the ward. This is making bottom lane very spooky. When you lose your vision, your support just died. Skeeter might just run away, and that could open up potential for this tower to fall.
Laurel, in the meantime, going to zip away from Ember. Quinn trying with these remnants to catch up to him, and he might just have it, a solo kill. Quinn takes out Laurel.
Yeah, faster on the rune pickup as well, so gets the rune. Doesn't even need the rune for the kill, more so as Storm didn't have enough resources to get to safety. There was maybe potential for him to try and go for a remnant into TP outplay, but didn't really get the distance he wanted.
Man, this is a fast tier 1 tower take bottom lane, and we've been talking through the tournament, you know, how important the Radiant tier 1 is due to that Tormentor. Great here for Team Spirit to grab it early on. Beastmaster not able to get to the opposing tier 1. Ember does a little bit of work mid, though. And good chip damage there onto that objective, but Radahn will come and shut it down.
Yeah, they got plenty of damage, so anytime they leave, might just be tower falling. And again, stacks being created.
Yeah, Falcons have got to protect that, though, right? This is their nest egg. This is their safety net. As Amar is going to get caught out on the top lane. Collapse and Laurel, plenty of control to bring the Beastmaster down. And we can see this move immediately. Beastmaster dies. They're TPing to the stacks because they need to take them now before they're invaded.
Yeah, they want to clear them out, but only a level 6 Dragon Knight along with the Ember. Takes a while to kill them off. Fortunately, though, Team Spirit doesn't look to be invading that quickly. But 4 heroes are on top. I think they're looking for a re-kill on the Beast if they could get it.
Just a lot of resources spent. Yes, you go and take the stacks, but it means mid lane and bot lane kind of free here for the Kunkka and the Klinks to go and gather up resources there.
I mean, Ancients aren't even cleared yet, so that's still going to be stacked up again, I believe, by Crit, looking to make it even larger. And ideally, you want this to go over to Beastmaster. He has level 4 Wild Axes. He does not want to go for the Dominator build. He's going for Aghanim Scepter Rush, and he needs this gold. This is how you get Aghanim Scepter. Once you have that, you start playing the game. But he's farming it under a ward. They know what's going on.
They don't really have the heroes in the vicinity right now. They could move up there. Storm and Jakiro could set things up.
Onto Ring.
Ringmaster steps down into the low ground, into his little box. Laurel out of mana, and it looks like they'll let Crit slip away.
It just gives them at least the information that there should be a ward, so they get to D-ward. But this is time that Beastmaster had to stop farming the stack for a little bit, stop throwing those axes, and that resets the axe buff up on the Ancients. The more you get, the stronger and faster you clear them. So again, takes a while for him to get this, but doesn't look like they really want to dive in there. Kunkka had no intention of playing that area. In fact, he's got a big stack on the Ancients down bottom. Was this also created by Radiant? I think so. And now he's stacking it up to a quad stack. So effectively, they are stealing a stack, just not the one that we have Falcons playing for right now.
Yeah, it's his now. So Beastmaster's going to finish his. Skitter going to wander back into lane after taking out some of those camps. Working on the Blink Dagger Dragon Knight first up, knowing that this tempo is about to be turned up to 11 from Team Spirit. They make a smoke move with this Ember Spirit, though.
Ooh.
Can't quite catch up to this Storm. Would have loved, slight chains into the Ice Blast. Very likely would have just blown up Laurel, but quick on his fingers to get away.
You know what he was missing there? The 738 patch. The unit count decreased from 3 to 2. There are 2 Mud Golems, 1 Storm, but got unlucky. The RNG a little bit what the Searing Chain targeted. Could have been the Storm, but Storm gets away.
Things slow down a touch. Looking for these first big items. Maelstrom for the Klinks, of course, a big one. Kaya Storm, always kind of waiting for that moment.
Yeah, I do feel the Klinks was stronger when Maelstrom was built into the Gleipnir, and you could just go Gleipnir plus Shard, and you just killed people. That was the Ame play. He was spamming Klinks a lot with that build. Now we'll see him go for, looks like Shard into then Hurricane Pike after the Maelstrom.
I honestly kind of miss the old Orchid Deso days.
Dire's middle tower
yeah, the Orchid and just looking for kills.
Back then.
Yeah, that was a very, very aggressive build. They could backfire a lot, but it was always exciting to watch. And once you get it going, it could be really, really effective. This game, though, against a Ringmaster and with that saving potential, might be too risky.
Seems Spirit trying to set up for something bottom.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
less deserving of death.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Never refuse gold given.
Dire are scanning.
Still here. Don't worry. Waga will be returning as soon as we get this all sorted out. Apologies for the global silence that's hit the casters. Team Spirit Falcons 9-9. So far, a very close game between these two. Have missed the last couple of moves, though. It looks like Collapse got taken down by Quinn. This Ember Spirit 7-0-2 continuing to have an incredibly strong game. And playing up towards top. Onto low. Amar and Snaking both there to snipe out the Storm Spirit. Immediately pinging Collapse, who is quickly on the run. This Radiant Observer Ward is going to realize he didn't run east. They know he's gone through the Twin Gate. But eyes on that top tier 1 tower for Team Falcons. Now getting a mild 1k lead. As it looks like Team Spirit trying to ready themselves for the tier 1 mid lane. Just allowing Falcons to take that space up in the top left corner. They don't commit for the tower, though. Swinging down bottom. And Skitter being very defensive here. Wise to stay away from that creep wave. And potential death waiting for him as Team Spirit actually bring all 5 heroes down there. It could be Tormentor time. Falcons readying themselves to go and contest this.
Dire are scanning.
We could have ourselves a big old bloodbath. That's Falcons smoking up. Tormentor already started, down to half HP. Looks like it's too late to stop it from happening, but a really nice Ice Blast. It looked better. I think it only clipped onto one hero. It looked bigger on my screen, I swear. Miposhki gets away alive. Collapse and Radahn are out of there. Skitter chasing forward, but even with his blink, he can't catch up to the Storm. A longer wraparound continuing, though. Falcons through the enemy Ancients. Laurel Storm about to step on their heads. Smoke breaks. Amar knows the slight chains and the roar. They found the Storm. A big pick-off for the Falcons. They lose the Tormentor, but they snipe the enemy mid laner. Straight into mid. Quinn is just never-ending aggression. Punch into the sky, but there's nothing that Tusk can do to survive. A quick turn of tempo there as it felt like Team Spirit getting Tormentor, putting themselves in a good position. In a pretty nice spot. Falcons say no. It's our map. It's going to feel a little bit sad there. Kunkka gets that pipe after the fight happens. The Kaya Sanj on the Storm not quite ready. Team Spirit just a little behind in their item synchronization. Well, Falcons absolutely ready to go at the drop of a hat. Quinn's got that Mage Slayer. He's going to have Sanj and Yasha soon. They've got what, 2 Pavises? Ancient Apparition and the Ringmaster both have these defensive tools. Great protection against the Clinks, of course. And put these Solar Crest on a Dragonite, you know. Used to be incredibly strong, still pretty damn good. Team Spirit want to bite back a little bit, though. A big 5-man smoke. And no one's showing on the bottom lane with that Radiant Observer Ward and the creeps meeting. Top lane, the Beastmaster Boar is just freely pushing. So it feels like the Falcons should have a pretty solid idea about this move around the mid-tier 1. And Quinn even bottles the haste rune. Awkward for Spirit. Yeah, repositioning themselves. Not going to find anyone. Good positioning there. Out of the Falcons, just dipping behind their tier 1 towers. Staying very defensively. But a little victory for Radan. He clears out an ancient stack for himself. Amar walks across. It's all gone. That farm has just disappeared. This Ember Spirit is incredibly tanky. What is he? 11,000 net worth? Slight change into Ice Blast. And this is what the panel was saying. Very little commitment. They poke at long range. They set up for a kill. That hero is dead, 100-0, no matter what. And then the Ember Spirit, not relying on cooldowns, is straight from mid up to top, playing aggressively onto Tusk. Storm and Clinks, they're splitting their separate ways, heading in different directions. Hello? I think I've got Waga.
I believe we're here. Yeah?
Or maybe not.
Gareth?
Still says he's waiting to connect. Interesting. Yeah, we're trying to get Waga back onto the broadcast one way or the other. Looks like Discord's having some hiccups. Team Spirit now moving down to bottom. They're going to get a catch. Ancient Apparition gets off his Ice Blast. And he's dead. And this Dragonite looks pretty done for as well. The 5-man swarming from Team Spirit. Substantial aggressive moves. Shutting down Falcons, even with these nice Ember Spirit rotations. Back into a dead even game. And now a snowball. Buying a bit of time for Rue. The boat. Not going to land anyone. Alright, outside this Roche pit though. No Dragonite for 20 seconds. Does Spirit commit for the Roche take, or are they, they're looking for a fight? Clink scurrying around.
Radiant are scanning.
And the scan on scan. Both teams know where each other are. Eposhka a little out in the open. Ember Spirit starts with the chains onto Kunkka. He's got a tidal wave. He's got a pipe. No boat for 40, but there is a roar into the backlines on the Jakiro. Amar finds the opening, and Quinn again looking to poke and maybe get a bit more. But towards the back, Skitter has been found by Laurel, Rue, and Radan. Trading a Jakiro for a Dragon Knight. Team Spirit real happy with the process here. Ember Spirit, another catch on the Tusk, but they'd love to go and grab Laurel. The Storm is deep behind enemy lines. A long ball lightning into the TP gets him out of there. Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Gareth. I believe everyone should be able to hear everything. Yeah, we have an assassination on the technical side here as the Discord went down.
I'm so happy you're back.
Yeah. Well, you've done great, man. I've been hearing you for the last minute at least. Just had to get the audio working again. But yeah, Discord seems to have gone down globally, was the call from production. So
yeah, looks like it. But now, what are we? We're on Steam Voice. we've got everything sorted out.
So I had to do some reconnecting. I haven't really caught up to all that has been going down, but looks like it's still a very even and tied game at 12 and 14. Falcons
it's been super back and forth. Yeah, Ember Spirit's been finding pickoffs. Then the 5-man from Spirit's been strong.
Yeah, I think at this stage, getting one single kill on this Ember could just turn the tide of the game entirely. It's very, very even right now, but he's sitting at 9-0 and 5. He is tanky with the Sanshasha, along with going for a Shiva's build and Mage Slayer. Definitely not the easiest kill to get, but some of these items that they're building towards as well are going to be very big for them. Getting themselves to the Hurricane fight.
So far, Falcons only really able to kill the Jakiro. that's all they're finding is Meposhka. Yeah, that's a good point. As Ember Spirit is 9-0-6. Quinn has had a very free game so far. A kill on him.
I think a big part of the story as well.
Team fight.
This Beastmaster has found his way back into the game, right? He didn't have a very good start in the early game, but he is looking extremely farmed now. Almost has the full BKB, about to complete in 200 gold. And with Blink and Aghanim Scepter, he can actually just bully the Klings if he ever sees him.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Falcons, it's been a while since they've been able to group up and go and make a forward play across the river. Team Spirit have really been dictating the way things have been going. But now they get out in that bottom lane, some aggressive wards, give that Beastmaster even more time to get to his next round of items. What is it? BKB Aghanim Scepter now, so ready to fight, absolutely.
There is this threat for Team Spirit as the game goes on that Radiant are going to scale really well going later on. Kunkka for now is looking good in net worth, but his item build with the Blade Mill Pipe and looking for Lotus next is not really a farm ramping build. It's more looking to be strong here and now, whereas the Beastmaster is going to keep scaling really hard. So I do believe the pressure is on Team Spirit to keep making moves.
Little zip back and forth for the amplified damage rune, yeah.
See how tentative they are, so scared. Well, they're up
towards the knife edge of this game.
Too much. Just see the boar, just barely.
A flurry of pings. That observer ward, I think they saw it placed. Yeah, the sentry just nearby. The boar will scout and try and kill it off.
Radiant's top tower is under
And Falcons, realizing that Spirit have committed somewhat into that top left corner, they move out across the map. Ember clears mid. Kunkka realizing there's a lot of farm to be had down bottom. Of course, X-Mark TP gives them that global potential. But now the reaction mid onto Quinn. Ice Path into Storm Zip. He's out of there. They didn't Vortex.
He was trying to hold it till last possible second because they were a little far with the Kunkka. But if he pulled it there, I think Snowball plus Punch could have held for the Kunkka to connect. Almost getting the Storm, the Ember, but you see how much effort it is to try and get him.
Yeah, you would be like picture perfect with your moves to get this Ember Spirit. And what's he up to next? Shiver's Guard. He's 1,000 gold away from that plate mail to finish it off. And then he gets even harder to kill. Still, both teams vying for control around Roche, though. 27 minutes in, 15 to 12.
Both these
back and forth.
Spirit heroes want the Aegis, of course. Storm with a fresh BKB now has a big power spike to play around. Still has to respect the insta-stun, so the Dragon Knight stun, the Roar, but it will give him some safety jumping in on the backline.
Ancient Apparition leading out here with Amar in towards Rue, the blink and blink. Back and forth. Team Spirit
First behind
reset their positioning, but Ember Spirit, you're right. There with the chains and the Ice Blast over the top onto Collapse. Storm zips in and then zips out again, just trying to reset this fight and get the Kunkka out. Skitter's Dragon Knight has the Dragon Form popped, so he would love to go and have a crack at this. But Team Spirit have the high ground advantage. They've got the terrain.
They have the high ground, and it's being respected by Falcons, but that is timing going down on that DK ulti half the way down. I don't know if they saw the form being popped, though. He was staying in Fog of War, so I'm not sure they know they have a power spike to abuse, but they are smoking up.
Yeah, they feel they've got a moment here. Can they kill Quinn? That's still the question that has been unanswered.
The Ringmaster has to save him if they go.
He's TPing. He's out of there.
I mean, even Amar, if he shows, they could chain stun him through before the BKB.
They're pinging it. Collapse wants to go in, try and break vision somehow. Throws the torrent, but doesn't spot anyone.
Awkward.
Very
dire though. They invested a lot of time, so they want to go and farm again.
This really delicate dance of backing up, still finding farm on his DK and Beastmaster, but defensively postured. Radan's Clinks walks past the Skitter DK, and it looks like Falcons have realized the Spirit have moved away from the Roche pit. They pinged it for a moment there. They are going in.
They showed us those bottoms, so yeah, they can't wait forever. That guy's sticking nearby though, going to throw out some random torrent to give vision. Just can't tell them. Rook is being taken. They see the HP.
Yeah, below half. Throws the boat in there. 80-second cooldown now, though. Something Falcons can play around, but it's given time for Spirit to smoke and move into position. He is. So very close to
One more
death.
smoke
Axe
on
is still being
Radiant.
thrown at him.
Still. Team Spirit actually the ones
go for
looking.
it. Both smoked up. Both
Shield
teams.
Shield
There's
run.
the shield rune. Grabbed by Amar. The jump in. The ice blast over. Snowball's buying time, though. And in comes the Wheel of Wonder. 3 heroes next to the Roshan being clapped and destroyed. Storm and Tusk, they're both down. Falcons standing strong. Move on to the Kunkka now. Oh, Collapse, you're down and out. Chased by Amar and Skitter. He's dead. Meanwhile, Jakiro, Quinn, he's taking him out. Miposhka's gone. 4 heroes of Spirit dead, and Falcons barely bleed.
Oh, that shield rune and quicker reaction decision making from Skeeter, just jumping in there, getting on it. Actually, it was Amar who picked it. Skeeter blinked first, but wait, what's happening to poor Clinks? He can't finish it. Clinks, well, he got away. He tried to finish Roche, but Roche threw him away. He could have gotten it, but Yatoro got yeeted by Roche.
Oh my god! Is he going to die for it now as well? Ancient Apparition's on him. Beastmaster and Dragon Knight in there, killing him off for a 5-man wipe in the end.
Oh man. He was so close to getting it, and then Roche just throws him away.
Dota2, the video game.
Yeah. Some crazy stuff happening,
I don't know,
for sure.
That top shield rune, I don't know, I blinked. I didn't see what happened at the start of the fight. 4 heroes jumped on the shield rune. It's like, woo!
You blinked, and so did everyone in the game, I think. They all hopped onto that. But ultimately, the snowball save may have been nice initially. They did not have the Kunkka bolt. They didn't have the damage mitigation to stand through some of the right-click damage coming in as well with the Dragon Knight. Just quickly brings them down. Now getting a tower with Aegis in hand on the Beastmaster. Fantastic spot for Falcons. The game that was once so even. Now Spirit on the back foot, and they were the ones playing early game. I told you this Kunkka is going to fall off. It's going to become more and more difficult for him to keep pace with the Radiant lineup.
Yeah, going for all these tanky aura items and not really being able to catch and kill anyone. And we've seen Kunkka have a lot of success for the same reason Beastmaster has with this Ancient Apparition, a hero that utilizes the X-Mark Torrent combo very nicely. I guess they've got a Jakiro, but it's much more difficult for Miposhka to find the positioning against this Ember Spirit who is on top of his head every step of the game.
It feels like Laurel is having one of those rare games nowadays where he actually isn't performing that well, or isn't having that good of a game at least. Sitting at the lowest net worth of all the cores. I'm so used to seeing him just dominate nowadays. But in this game, you can understand why. There's Ringmaster with a save to counter a Storm jump. And then there's insta-stuns and, you know, great catches against Storm. It's a difficult Storm game.
It really is. And now a 9k lead. Almost emerging out of thin air for Falcons. One fight. That's all it takes to turn the tide. 33 minutes in.
They did see Ringmaster. Radon gonna look for a pick on him.
Solar Crest for crit. That's not going to help when you can't use the damn thing. Hang on a sec.
Finish him though.
Oh, hang on a sec. You've got to, take him down. A couple more hits. Crit. Gets off the Solar Crest. Does die, but now the Roar comes in. Amar has the opening on the Clinks. Oh, Team Spirit bit off more than they could chew.
They just didn't finish the job, Gareth. They started running before the job was done, and then they stick around to try and finish him, but get punished heavily for it. Very stressed. You can tell how they wanted to finish up that kill so quickly and then get punished because they didn't actually do it.
And then the map belongs to the Falcons immediately. Dragon Knight sprints down that middle lane. Just watch Amar, right? He cuts from his own Ancients all the way to that bottom lane to push the wave, playing into vision. And the rest of the team shoving top and forcing Lal Storm away.
Yeah. Having Aegis, BKB, Assault, Cuirass, and even having a Brawl needs to rated shift extra HP. They have 3,000 HP, 30 armor, just not bursting this Beastmaster before his team arrives. And Team Spirit, they've got to find a way to stick in the game. Picking off the supports is the solution usually, but these supports are pretty durable. We saw Ringmaster with his Solar Crest. Not that squishy. He also has 9 souvenirs, or 10 souvenirs, I guess. It's +9, so Crit is just saving stuff to bring back to Denmark.
Oh, Miposhka, hasted, making Quinn and snaking work for it. There's no way he TP's out of here. He's not allowed to TP out of here. Miposhka gets back to Fountain.
Sneaky position. Not often when you see the Jukes coming out from a Jakiro out of all heroes, but...
What a gamer. What a roar, though, on this Tusk. Amar bangs the drums.
Smashes him down, and that's the danger. Beastmaster will happily click his ulti on anyone who gets close to him, and he's 2 levels away from that level 25. The Wisdom Rune he's about to claim is going to push him even closer. The 25 talent, of course, getting 30-second cooldown on your roar is amazing.
Skitter.
Oh, Radan got
Dusting
dusted.
Radan. Oh, that's a rough one. Clinks, ice blasted, caught up in all the stuns. There's no slipping away from them this time.
Such a Skitter thing to just have a dust against him as well there. Just be ready for it.
Yeah. No, really, why is the DK here with a dust? Is why going for Radan's head.
Why indeed, but Skeeter had his number. He knew there's not many plays when you're this far behind. Stealing Wisdom Runes is one of the best things you could try for, but they read that and punish it immediately.
And now they're on high ground. Quinn still unkilled, unkillable. Straight onto the tier 3 with the Beastmaster behind him. Forcing the glyph for now, but they've got multiple waves pushing in to multiple lanes. The double catapults mid are dealt with by the glyph, but with Dragonite arriving shortly, this lane of Barracks bottom is about to fall. No clinks for 30 seconds, and Quinn, oh, he feels it. Dives in, forces Spirit back, returns to finish off the buildings though. Objective-based gaming.
He just it up. He has 55 armor on Ember. What? Like the tough Gale Guard along with the AC and the Solar Crest, he gets so many buffs here. Just absolutely unkillable, like you said. Status Rest and magic resistance from Mage Slayer.
That's an Aegis power play right there. 6.2k net worth, 3 buildings, green lines on the chart all across the board. Falcons, they got it going for themselves. 13,000 to the good now against Spirit here in game 1.
Absolutely, just
his vision as well.
Cruising in this game. Like I said, building towards those timings, the level 25 beast. They're not feeling stressed. They know that they have the stronger late game, and it's really the burden is on Team Spirit to find a play. I think the Nullifier and Collapse is a nice attempt. Try and play around that somehow, but they're always this game picked alone. Tusk might just get spotted as well.
Yeah, crit walks into him. Just a snowball to delay the inevitable demise of Rue. Skitter comes in to slice him down.
Brought down. He did blink in aggressively, thinking that Storm could maybe join him, but of course it was all of Team Falcons. So probably a good thing Storm didn't actually bring himself into that battle. Refresher Orb complete on the Beastmaster, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, that move is such a Falcons thing to do as well, right? They see a Tusk, they literally 5-man rotate onto the Tusk. Then before he's even dead, the Dragonite and the Beastmaster are like, where's the next farm? Where's the next wave to push? They're already mid and top lane, cutting and killing creep waves.
I think it's extremely wise when you're this far ahead to not feed anything for free. A single hero dying would be so bad. So the fact that they overreact almost to protect their support is a good disciplined play. And then, like you said, back to farming immediately. You don't want to waste time, but also not giving anything for free to Team Spirit.
Ready to jump if they see someone with that high ground observer ward. But Spirit have held the left side of their base and they're smoking out west. Rue, trying to catch the wave and stop the push coming in too quickly, but might have given up the positioning now.
Shield rune on this Ember as well. They can nullify it off with a Kunkka, and I think they need to, otherwise you're just never killing him.
What, 3,000 health on Quinn? infinite armor?
And barriers of every different type as he gets solar crested, glimmered, shield ruined.
That's wild.
Flame guard.
They get Spirit out of the base for a few moments, trying to play under this high ground vision. But Falcons not stepping into the danger zone at all.
Problem is that Klinks is going for a pretty high utility survivability build, so they don't really have the burst either. And when you're behind, this build really doesn't shine. This type of build wants to abuse the enemy, be on the map, and stay active. He's going for a Lincoln Sphere, which, yeah, it's a great Lincoln's game, but look at your damage output. It's still not that high. Maelstrom and Brooch is decent, but I think the Dragonite is gonna deal way more, same for the Beast and the Ember.
Especially when it's in combination with your 2 other cores who have done the same thing, right? Like Lincoln's Kaisange BKB Storm, the Kunkka has this Pipe Blademail Lotus Orb. Everyone's gone for tankiness, utility. Not much damage.
Master having Aghanim Scepter, by the way. Crit has the double save.
They've got a roar.
Just roar.
Collapse. Lotuses it back. In comes the Beastmaster and the Ringmaster, though, with a Dragon Knight on top. Snowball save from Rue. That buys some time, but this Falcon side still able to fight. Punch back heavily. Amar taking a fair amount of damage there, but the Tusk is about to drop to Skitter. Amar dead to Laurel. Storm gets the job done. They lose the Beastmaster, but it took a buyback and a couple of deaths from Spirit for that one kill. They need more. Dragon Knight dragged back in with the tidal wave and the X mark. Taking a bit of damage from the Clinks on the low ground. Ice Blast misses, though, as Radan drifts away. Spirit trying their hardest to catch up, but good disengage from Falcons. Storm, look at Laurel go. Desperately scrambling for anything, something. Give him a kill. Crit's gonna die. Snaking TPing out. He's caught out, though.
Absolutely massive. They get 3 kills, including the massive kill on the Beastmaster, who used his Refresher Orb as well. And they tip Beastmaster. I think Amar overplayed there. He dove deep into the enemy base, got Lotus roared, and then Ringmaster couldn't save him. I was just mentioning how he has this escape back double charges with Aghanim Scepter, but he doesn't have Ether Lens. So he can't reach him that easily when he's that deep in the enemy base without dying himself by just going in.
Yeah, I mean, he refreshed up. Just takes so much damage on the way out. They're not able to turn back and do anything at all. And this gives Team Spirit free access to Roshan. Right on with the Aegis now.
Yeah, getting a bit more complicated. It does get very difficult for Beastmaster when there are Lincoln Spears everywhere. Lincoln's on the Storm, Lincoln's on the Clinks. It makes it a bit difficult for him because he doesn't have his own Lincoln's break, so he has to coordinate with someone else. But that's the problem. Beast wants to initiate. He wants to be the first one in. So now you gotta rely on someone else to break it, and you can't really ask your Dragon Knight to do it because he has the same problem. What, is he gonna bling in Hurricane Pike and then use his Dragon Tail stun? Then he might be caught out of position without Hurricane on cooldown, or Hurricane ready.
There's still Quinn, though. Mr. 12-0-12. Octarine Core is, yeah, fully completed. He had it in his quick buy, had the money for it, and says, yeah, I'm not dying. Buy out my items.
Gotta be very nice once he gets to the point of having the minus 12-second cooldown restore time as well. He could go for Sleight of Fist charges just to apply more Mage Slayer, but I think when you have Aghanims and Octarine Core, Arcane Rune now as well, you want to get that CDR. So signs of life though from Team Spirit, who otherwise were struggling a lot. Having the Aegis on the Clinks could allow him to make some moves. They can almost lead with him and then go behind and like counter gank if he runs into a dangerous area.
They're going to bait with him aggressively. Because it does make it more challenging for Falcons to find their next move, right? They've already killed bottom tier 3 and Rax. There's no Roshan to take. So it's like Tormentor and play top is the only real play they can actually go for.
At least that gives away their positioning right now. So if Team Spirit want, they could smoke towards it. They're going to do it. Information that Torm was taken, they decide to run straight for the cutoff. Going behind.
Double Dire Observer wards. One of them about to expire in 15 seconds. One a little bit deeper for a much longer time. But it's a smoke, a blink, stun from the Dragon Knight. They see the Clinks to start things off, and Ember breaks the vision in the back as well as they go straight in with a roar. Tusk is down. Amar gets the catch and the kill. Ember Spirit goes on Niposhka. Collapse trying to come back and defend them. Skitter with that BKB, too fearsome. So Root, the only death so far is Team Spirit disengage as fast as they can. But Amar is in again. Another blink roar. The Lincoln's too late this time, and the Ice Blast will secure it. 2 quick kills for Falcons. No buybacks from Spirit.
Ooh, Radon has to do something here. He's cutting the mid creep wave. There is a wave top that's going to push eventually.
They're TPing bottom. Look at them. Look at them. They know. They know.
Got the dust on him.
He's got the read, the dust, the move, the blink, the stun. The Lincoln's popped, and they've got him. The Clinks is down. Not once, but twice. I don't know if Lal can do anything. The Storm is zipping in. Lal wants to help his buddy get a kill or something. They've lost the Clinks, though. Lal running low on resources. BKB up but about to expire, and so is the Storm himself.
Storm not even TPing. Did he not have a chance to TP out there? There's no Beastmaster.
I think that's one of those, you know, slay together, die together, die together kind of moments.
I guess he kind of knew if Clinks dies, then we don't have buyback as well. Clinks did commit and buyouts before.
70 seconds, no Clinks, no Storm, no Conquer for 50. This
They got
very
the
well
Jakiro.
could be game one over. Jakiro dived almost in his fountain by this Ember Spirit. The Ice Blast, the kill on Miposhka, and the Tier 4s cracked wide open by Falcons here, forcing the glyph. But it feels like this is done.
I don't think there's a counterplay. They have a buyback on Jakiro, but gotta hold for 30 seconds with 2 supports. This is not gonna work out, buddies, but they want to try. Let them click the buttons. Aurora is the superior button, it turns out.
And there's GG. Game 1 goes to the Falcons. Team Spirit tap out, trying this Clinks.
I can see them 4-manning a lot and just letting the Gyrocopter farm up, which looks very threatening. But on the other hand, Team Spirit, they have great pick-off game. They have good stuff to try and punish the Queen if he ever oversteps.
Already picking off crit down here.
Yeah.
Miposhka, Rue, and Radan under Tier 1 tower secure themselves the first blood already.
Yeah, gonna be a good start for them. The first blood does get claimed by the tower, so sharing the gold.
It does mean bounty runes here could be grabbed up by Falcons. Amar gonna go for one of the bottom ones. Still the 2 for 2, so no major gains by the Falcons there. And our first blood for Team Spirit puts them in a good spot.
Always a nice thing. They have a very strong lane down bottom as well in the Clinks plus Jakiro. Clinks not always the most threatening hero, but paired up with Jakiro, a lot of carries will look dangerous when you have this hero next to you. We've seen Jakiro's just solo kill stuff.
There's non-stop harassment.
Miposhka actually playing the Icebreaker. We saw it in the previous game as well. Otherwise, this has been not played as much. We've seen more Twin Terror lately.
Yeah, like Ice Path got nerfed a little bit, and then people were like, ooh, Twin Terror. Yeah. Yeah, Miposhka going back for it.
Even without it, though, Miposhka was finding solo kills on the Ringmaster in the previous game, so just looked really strong still.
I mean, that
To keep a close eye on what they can do here on the bottom lane, but top lane for now. Centaur getting some nice pullback.
Snaking, blocking large camp, dewarding small, so he has access to his own pulls while killing that opportunity for Team Spirit. And Skitter, off to an okay start here, protected by a Chen. He's going to have a pretty decent lane. Not sure that they can threaten the Centaur much though, huh? Rue and Collapse, once they get to level 3, they could actually maybe get on top of Chen or Gyro.
Yeah, but Chen's auto attacks are pretty hard for Murta to trade into, since Chen has the extra range, 650 attack range against the 575, and he auto attacks really, really well. Just bully them a bit for now with the Mind Stealer at least.
It sure does. Spamming out these flat cannon hits as well to chip away at them. Collapse hiding in the trees to dodge as much as he can. And then that final lane, mid, Storm against Queen of Pain, matchup as old as time. I'm not going to lie, I think I've cast a fair number of Queen of Pain games in the past 6 months or so, and I've not seen him win. I don't know if I've cursed him. I don't know if it's a curse for me to be casting this game. Yeah, it's a good hero for him. I've seen him win on other streams when other people are casting, but not me.
Taking a bit of a weird trade there, but he wants to use his bottle before refilling, of course, down bottom. And Laurel is going to stand his ground really well. And this is the thing. Queen versus Storm used to be a lot stronger, but nowadays with the static slide, Storm holds his own really well in this lane.
And for the Queen of Pain, we're looking for Dagon. Is that the build still?
Yeah, he has Masochist, so it's almost guaranteed Dagon. Then you pretty much can't play this facet without going Dagon, since the damage you take is just going to be so nasty. You need extra spell lifesteal. And the Dagon is super strong on it, so it's too synergetic not to go for it. Top lane trying to pull the creep wave away, but Gyrocopter is happily going to farm quite a bit under the neutral camp.
It's all getting a bit messy up there. Lotus Pool for Rue and Snaking. Gonna kill off the little Mind Stealer and grab the Lotus. For the Muerta. Yeah, this lane is being pulled into large camps. Get happy with that. And Collapse continually trying to pull this lane back towards his tier 1. They don't want this long lane of chasing with Snaking trading into them.
Yeah, but this is great for Falcons. They have a 0 threat lane. They're happily farming the Gyrocopter uncontested. They have the small camp pull, which is now being used. So top lane definitely going the way of Falcons. And bottom lane, the Beastmaster, Amar at 22 and 6 CS as well.
Yeah, even against this Jakiro Clinks, right? They've managed to drag this wave back. Same kind of story in front of their own tier 1 for safety. Getting a lot of farm, which ordinarily they wouldn't be able to get.
I think Amar is just absurdly good at laning mechanics. He is very annoying to lane against.
Storm Spirit taking a slight lead in front of Quinn for now. Both of them going to get the water runes, though, to refill their bottles.
Safe refills. No support running to mid already, but we did have support eyeing up some stacking. Crit getting the stacks going on the triangle.
Miposhka steps up in that bottom lane. A lot of damage comes his way very quickly from Crit and Amar, and another little swipe there gets them the takedown, keeping Radahn at bay as well, as damage comes so quickly from level 2 axes.
Yeah, Boot's difference there. Boot on the Beastmaster. This is not the usual build. Perhaps a little bit surprising to some people playing against him on Beastmaster. You expect him to go for a Dominator rush, but Amar doesn't do that. He generally goes for double Null Talisman into Boot, Power Treads, and start smacking people instead.
Stupendous.
It looks like Laurel going to dip out of that mid lane just to grab the bounty rune, get a stack going. He had dropped pretty low to the level 3 Shadow Strike out of the Queen of Pain. So it looks like he doesn't want to go head on into that matchup.
So that is the big statement, though. Going level 3 means he's really committing for winning mid lane and wants to play on that as much as possible. But he's going to have low level on Blink for quite a while because of this. And against the Radiant lineup with a Storm, with, you know, a lot of follow-up disables as well, could spell danger for him in the mid game.
That could be problematic.
Dire are
The
scanning.
Ringmaster stuck around. Under vision now, though. He grabs the Watcher, but an Observer Ward from Laurel sees him coming and going.
It's got a mystical mana draw, so plenty of mana for the Storm.
Under attack.
The power runes being controlled quite heavily by Dire. Good oppressive positioning.
Spirit bring both supports into mid. Rue, I think, was thinking about stacking on his way through, but instead wants to play aggressively as Crit gets gone on by the Jakiro and Storm. But no level 6 on Laurel means it's difficult to gap close onto that Ringmaster, and Quinn is just going to go take the haste rune.
Ooh, what a great rune to have. And with ulti ready, Storm
Can
does
he
get
kill?
level 6. Yeah, okay. I mean, he could try, but the zipping, the magic stick, he could survive on Storm there.
And 2 supports nearby as well, right?
Yeah.
A dead shot, a calling, could be his undoing.
He
either way,
wants to hold this ulti ready, because now he can be ready to punish the side lanes. The Clinks could easily be brought down if he goes too close.
Yeah, and Team Spirit, the ones that kind of overreact to this situation. 2 supports moving mid, while just the Ringmaster made the move in there. So top lane continues to be this real strong performance for Skitter and Snaking, both getting a good amount of farm. And continue pushing this wave in towards that Radiant Tier 1 tower, where
They want the Wisdom.
Quinn,
Are fortified.
wrapping around into the Wisdom Shrine. Rue is going to step in there after pulling the camp. The Sonic Wave pushes Rue back. Miposhka arrives, though. Chen helping out Quinn. The hasted Queen of Pain is going to sprint away. Not able to stand his ground and take it.
Gyrocopter not quite able to get there in time, so it can't really help out. As Queen ulti used, and they didn't get that much for it. Forced some rotations, but not really more than they made themselves. Storm casually farming meanwhile. Very even start to the game, looking at the overall farm and CS-wise. Neither team getting an advantage, and actually the mids are struggling a bit.
And Quinn getting tagged up by the Jakiro spells, but Miposhka
Oh, they denied!
gets denied
Rue.
by Rue.
Dire's
Oh,
bottom
very
tower
nice timing
is
by him
under
there.
attack.
One of the
One of
downsides
the
to
few
Shadow
things.
Strike.
Oh, and a few things you can still get denied at. Laurel feared in the mid lane. A bit of chip damage there from Quinn and Crit. Laurel even zips into them and says, yeah, go on then. Have a crack at the Storm. 8-minute rune.
On, looking for
Quinn. He's dead. Radahn comes in with the help of that Vortex. Now they move on to Crit's Ringmaster with a Stampede forward. The Clinks makes the move. Amar is here with the axes and the roar, though. Clinks, it's just a Beastmaster. He's not particularly bothered about that. The cooldown's going to whiff completely as well, so Skitter's rotation comes to nothing.
Wow, big blow. And they get the top rune as well, so Storm gets the refill on the back of that. Everything going their way. That was a great Clinks rotation by Radahn. And he's scouting out this massive Ancient stack. He's calling his friends over.
Dire's middle
Looking
tower
for
Start
Amar.
with the Falcons.
Queen is
and
ulti
Quinn.
in 10 seconds.
Dire's top
Well,
tower.
they bring all the
Just gonna
numbers
team
down
farm
there,
this,
but
eh?
yeah, I guess so. I mean, Centaur has complete freedom up top. Crit is going to die down bottom to Radan and the two supports. Ancient stacks are still standing here. They'll kill the large camp at least.
Yeah, but the Ancient
Yeah,
still full
Falcons.
HP. Possibility for them going in.
Is under attack.
Having to react so heavily to this, and this kind of stems from that attempt to go and steal the Wisdom Shrine. Now, it's no longer as easy as grabbing the Wisdom Rune. You've got to get to a shorter position, hold your ground.
But meanwhile, all this was happening, which was a big win for Team Spirit. Collapse also just massively enjoying his time up top, getting towards that Blade Mill and Centaur. He was the one struggling for them the most on Radiant, but coming back into the game. And still the fight is not over. Bottom, they're on the Beast.
Yeah, into these Ancients again. Radan is forward. They've got a kill on the Beastmaster with Rue surrounding him. Lal zips in and they eye up sneaking as a bonus kill. Crit waiting in the wings, maybe try to defend them as they retreat, but Lal says no, it's a double kill for me. And Falcons only getting the Muerta
Queen
kill.
looking for that
But
chance to
Quinn
ulti.
wants to make a meal of this. Radan pops back into Invis, dust from Crit. Quinn is here with a Sonic Wave ready. Crit is dead though to this Clinks who just walks over him with a Stampede, and Quinn blinks away but still dies. Skidder is there with a call down on the damage, but Radan is TP'd home, wisely escaping, and Miposhka, well, looks like he's going to be the sacrifice at the Ancient. He does drop, but Team Spirit just hammering away, headbutting into Falcons over and over again and getting the wins. Lol.
They get the Storm. Storm didn't have mana to TP out earlier, and they get the Roar on him. So Amar gets a big bring down at the end there.
Well, that's a big one for Falcons.
Finally getting
That
something.
matters a
But
hell of a lot.
they got robbed pretty hard, though. The neutrals even got the kill on the Rue, and Ancients largely going the way of Radiant. Team Spirit off to a great start.
Collapse is just laughing his way to the bank. Look at him. Kills tier 1, farms through camps. They kill Snaking with Radan again down his bottom lane. Yeah, bottom is uninhabitable for Falcons right now.
And Clinks is still very strong against Chen. A lot of people get confused that, oh, you can't eat the convert anymore. Well, only the special convert, right? You can't eat the summon convert, but you can eat the holy persuasion creeps. So Clinks is still very effective as a counter to him, as long as you don't have to lane against Chen, but Chen's typically lane on the safe lane. So not really a problem for Radan in this game.
So now, what's the backup plan for Falcons? It was meant to be lane stage into tempo, into team fight. That's all come crumbling down pretty quickly.
It's still going to be timings, going for that Aghanim Scepter. Beastmaster is effectively a creep until he gets it. I mean, pretty strong creep, but compared to when he has Aghanim Scepter, he's just a shadow of his former, or his future self, I guess.
And then when you get these items, and the Aghanims on him, the Chrysalis on Gyro, Quinnipiain with his Dagon, you're looking at, what, a Centaur who has Blade Mail. He's going to be working on that. And Crimson Guard, eventually. Rue will have Rod of Atos.
I think Collapse will be the big problem. He's getting to that point where nobody wants to go on him eventually, because he's just that big and farmed. And like, he's not really there yet, but he's being left alone a lot on Centaur, and he's gonna punish Snaking for going into his area here. Go up and just take this farm back.
Well, Chen's Croak holds
Tendrils
him
of the
back.
deep.
A twin gate play from Team Spirit from bottom right-hand corner to top left to play into this Centaur who is so strong. Kind of dangling Collapse in front of Spirit to see if they bite. Or maybe even just
To
find
use
the gyro.
They have the Desto. Want to get some Desto charge as soon as possible. The Clink eyeing up
It just
Gyrocopter.
shows. He walks out. Storm zips in. And this Gyrocopter's done for.
Very nice. Very
Completely
calm kill as well.
destroyed.
Not pulling the trigger on the collapsed ulti to get on him there. I think a lot of lesser teams would have just said, okay, let's get him, you know, charge in, use the Stampede, but don't need it. Easy kill on Gyro, no way out for him.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And quickly TPing bottom as well. Always thinking about this Radiant tier 1. That Tormentor that comes up shortly. Miposhka's ready to defend, and yeah, the Falcons already reading the room. Not going for the push. Planting some vision and then falling back to Ancients again.
Falcons still 150 gold off that Aghanim Scepter on Beastmaster. He's going to finish it on this camp, but that means that bottom tower can be defended. Meanwhile, they're clearing out a triple stack on the Ancients up top together on Collapse and Radahn.
Radiant's courier has
Nice. Big money for Team Spirit. And then what is it? A couple of hundred gold for...
Oh, Mert has Ados.
He's
Catches the
Yeah.
10.
snaking down in that river. Dead shotted back into that Macropire. And Shrine of Wisdom coming back up shortly too. Crit. He's going to try and move off to the right-hand side. Looks like Radahn was trying to make his way over there, but it's too late.
Absolutely massive timings though coming in for Dire. They have the Dagon on Queen, Axe on Beastmaster, and Crystallis on the Gyrocopters. All three cores finishing a big item. Sadly, supports don't
Quinn?
really have much to work with.
And Quinn with a double rune as well. His shield rune almost entirely expended by the storm very quickly, but he's holding that Arcane and Dagon delivered. Bottom, Jakiro throws an Ice Path out to hold back the Falcons as they were starting to group up and play
Quinn
forward,
committed in.
but it's mid lane where Collapse and Laurel are going to jump on Quinn. Blink on cooldown, Calling placed on his head. A Queen of Pain dead.
Dire's middle
Linking
tower is
onto the
under
storm there. Just, I don't know. They did not expect them to be nearby, but see the punishment coming in. Quick silence from Murta.
I'm telling
They
you,
have
man,
to
it's
fight
cursed.
without Queen.
Are they going to try? They're wrapping around with this Beastmaster, huh? Muerta is in position to break smoke. Might die for it,
Dire's middle
but
tower
keeping
is
Laurel and
under
Collapse
attack.
protected at least.
Oh,
There
he
it
got
is.
the
He gets
ulti
off the ulti before the roar lands, so Storm zips in. Muerta about to die, but Collapse has got the jump with the two-man stop, catching out Crit and the Beastmaster too. Amar is dead, and Ringmaster
lives.
follows him into the grave.
And Rue got himself out of that. Just fast reaction. Give it up for
Incredible.
Rue. And now we see them activating very early. I expected to see Collapse keep farming for a little while longer, but with this early blink, Blade Mail doesn't need to go for Vanguard, didn't want to keep farming. He's joining a team opening up the map. And this is setting themselves
Look
up
how-
for Roche.
Under attack.
So speedy.
Even the Tormentor, of course. Yeah.
He sees them, understands.
Just barely stayed alive then.
Everybody
And this
else
is
as well.
the type of game where a Clinks can thrive. All tier 1 towers gone immediately. Now it's very dangerous for Dire to move around because the Clinks with the Deso can bring people down quite quickly. And he's going for the Orchid next as well.
And because all these towers have died so quickly and it's kind of been a free game for the Centaur, he's not had to rush the Crimson Guard, as we've seen previously be required as a defensive tool just to stay alive in fights. He's able to go Blade Mail into Blink to continue playing aggressively, and then the Crimson Guard is going to shut down the potential comeback from the Falcons.
Laurel slips in.
Lars found him. In comes Collapse, and there's that Blink paying off again. A roar from Amar onto this storm, but the Ice Path
that
macro
macro.
control and damage onto Quinn and Amar. They're both dead. Oh, Falcons, what have you done? Lol will jump in even more onto snaking now by the tier 2. No damns given. 4 kills for the price of nothing.
Massive there on the back of Laurel finding the initial kill and getting all these charges as well. We sometimes talk about a Storm, you know, that you want to get a lot of kills early game because then look at that mana regen. Already sitting at 17.4, able to play so aggressively now. And who cares about the Torment? They're just getting tier 2 tower already. The Deso, along with the Liquid Fire from Jakiro, brings down the tower really fast.
Yeah, it's 17 minutes in, but it feels like the way Spirit have progressed the map, it's like 25 or 30.
Yeah, they skipped a few
No-
steps. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Quinn.
rough for Quinn
He
out
feels the pressure. 0, 4, and 1. Not having a good game. And the way back in is going to be tough. He's 4,400 gold behind the Clinks at this point. Of course, the Storm, 3,000 gold ahead of him too.
there. And the main way to get back into the game as a Queen of Pain is through aggression, right? You want to go and get hero kills.
Yeah. But this is also, you know, some of the concern when you play Queen against all those knockdown heroes. You get caught by one ability, the rest are going to follow. Rod of Aethys as well. They bring down the Tormentor in the end, so go and pick that up. Get the shard over from Murta. Not really the most impactful shard in the early game. He actually is sitting at 0 stacks right now as well.
I'll get there.
Well, it's you know, you would rather have the Jakiro, but at least you get some some progression on the Tormentor. Take it early when you're dominating a game, so it respawns faster.
It's big for Laurel. Given a shoveled salve, a guarded double damage. Refills the bottle so Storm can stay on the map. Sat with the Muerta mid. No smoke or anything, but it looks like they're trying to pivot top.
And Radam being so patient up top before he clears this creep wave. He's gonna go for it now. Oh boy, everybody on Centaur.
Collapse is done for. Tried to stampede his way out of that one, but the Falcons were waiting.
1100 gold. That's how far behind they are. They get tons of gold for bringing down even just a killing spree on the Centaur. 11k, 10k net worth lead right now still.
He buys his Crimson Guard out. I'm a big fan of this Clinks build, this Orchid Deso. We were talking about it previously. More of a fan of this than the Maelstrom. Gives him that solo kill potential, which he might just pull the trigger on. Quinn is going to step away. Radam just needs to see someone and then they're dead.
He's going to walk under a combination of Ward and Sentry here. Oh, barely dodges it. Storm is spotted though. Wave. Yeah. Saw Storm too, so immediately TP out. But Storm TP's mid. They want Beast.
And zipping onto Amar. TP's to the outpost. Rue is here with the damage. Lol. I'll take him down.
And the important 2% for Muerta. Wow, spell lamp.
Oh, yeah. The diary with the scanning on top of each other. They're so scared of the Clinks.
Yeah, getting concerned. Putting down a sentry after scanning as well. They're getting very paranoid. And meanwhile, Clinks is just, you know, farming around, playing it pretty safe right now. He has the shard, so now he can do this little disappearing act for the Chen creeps. Mid tower, falling while the Clinks is showing top. Not a great time when you can't defend despite Clinks being on the other side of the map.
A lot of scribbling and drawing from Miposhka saying Gyrocopter is up in that top part of the map, the outer ring of neutral camps. So they know that he is nowhere near ready to join in these fights. So Clinks can keep doing the same thing and take out ancient stacks while the other four take the tower.
Yeah, and right now
Collapse is a little bit out there.
He is, but that's a big target. He is so tanky. You brought him down last time, but he was in the center of all 5. And right now he has Muerta nearby. Just Muerta might be able to save him if they go.
And this time he's got the Crimson. 3,000 health.
At level 14, he is a big, chunky boy already. Team Spirit still feed the Wisdom Rune over to Falcon. Okay, they can get that.
And Muerta shows a lone mid. But even that isn't tantalizing enough for Falcons. They let Rue step away. Chen.
Leipnir almost completed on him.
Chen and Amar,
that might be the target.
Well, this deep Radiant Observer Ward. It spotted the move down here. So Centaur is just going to sprint towards the area he assumes they're going to be in. Stampede and the catch up to Amar. Doesn't get the roar off, so the Stomp, Ice Path, Chain disables. Get Team Spirit another kill.
And Team Spirit just do not have a move, it feels like. Despite having this Beastmaster before Blink, it's very hard for him to get a pick off. He does have it now after dying. Maybe when he respawns, take a look for a catch, but instead it's going to be Rue on mid lane. Oops, mispicking on a dead shot.
Snaking, zipped on by Laurel. The Chen, no real escape mechanisms. Nothing to defend himself. Miposhka with Radam just stepping up to high ground to find a silence and a kill on Quinn, who stepped into the middle of them.
The Orchid. This Orchid is going to be devastating for a long time too. He only has the Stafford Wizardry on Quinn. Not close to having a counter item yet, and there's no need to wait. They just go straight up mid. With his Brave, this tower is almost gone.
Such a hard game now to come back into. You know, your Beastmaster Chen were meant to be opening this map up, building pressure and tempo, but you've barely cracked a tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, your opponent's 22 minutes in and going for the barracks. You go with the Rod of Atos, Wheel of Wonder. Beastmaster steps forward, but he's controlled up. Crit dead. Miposhka standing his ground, gets the Macropire out before falling. So that allows Collapse and Laurel to zip in, get onto Amar, dodging the roar, and getting the kill. Beautifully set up. Falcons down another couple of heroes, and the barracks are falling.
And now the Queen is here, but gets silenced.
He's blinked in. He's got a Yule Scepter this time. Blink ready in a second, so this stomp into Chain Stun's got to be perfect, and it is! Dead for 45. Team Spirit, super clean. Laurel on the way out. Can he be protected by the calling? No. Falcons get something, but they lose their tier 3 and their melee.
This is just all bad news for Falcons. Finally getting some gold for bringing that down, but that was on the buyback of Ringmaster. Good buyback, but it's not easy for him to get a single pick off. And Klinks has played a very clean game. We see Amar, he's feeling it this game. This is not an easy one.
What's he feeling? Despair?
Oh, he looked like he was praying to a higher power for a second there.
Bit of suffering.
And the Klinks, Radon going in again.
Who's he got?
He's this 10 and Chance is gone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Orchid
There
doesn't
was a
even
moment where it's like, Essence Ring Solar Crush, you're like, ah.
But the rend damage from the Orchid sets in towards the end, 30% coming in there, so it was a pretty strong kill for him.
That was a hefty hit. And Rue is already setting up mid for something, but it has been scouted by a Dire Observer Ward. So Falcons
Rue has
know that they...
Atos Aghanims at 24. Like, that's absurd for Emerta. It's so strong.
You got 10,000 net worth. He's almost
Quite
up there with the
often-
Beastmaster.
Yeah, quite often you see the Aghanims come in around the same time as you get the level 20 talent. Like, oh, you have the combination of items. He's got 6 levels early here. He did forego the Gleipnir, though. He's going to go back for it. Regen rune for Storm as well. This big move with the Beastmaster has to work.
That's non-stop. Clenching my butt cheeks and my toes curling up every time Quinn gets gone on by a single spell.
At least he's used up there on Quinn now. But used Dagon, power or no power treads, just brown boots does not feel good for him. He is trailing 1100 gold behind the Emerta support.
Yeah.
All this
Falcons-
economic damage.
They're still out on the map trying to make plays, though. You know, they're not hiding in their base, not cowering away. Skitter is building up. He's second in net worth, not looking too bad. And
They're realizing the road should be taken, so this is a good time for them to get on the field and farm. And this is very, very valuable that they're doing this. Allows them to get closer to any form of key items. Doesn't look like they have some big one finishing up beyond the Revenant's Brooch for Gyrocopter is going to be the most significant thing they can get now.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's kind of a waiting room for BKB on Beastmaster, Kaya Sandra or whatever on the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, you need everything you can get basically at this point. And I think a big item as well is the pipe that Chen is working on. If he can get that, that will mitigate so much damage output.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Because when you get to a situation like this...
Klinks has, it's a lot of magic damage still.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's true. Just when you get into a spot like this where you're 13k and Aegis down 26-6 and Team Spirit are eyeing up your barracks, it's potentially one fight loses the game or maybe gives you a chance to hold on. You know, we're not looking at win conditions for Falcons for quite some time.
Yeah, it's more staying conditions. Can we stay in the game? Let us play. But with a pipe and Crimson Guard on Centaur and just getting a Gale Guard as well as his neutral item, he is longing for the high ground. He yearns for the tier 3 tower, Gareth.
He's large and in charge. Like this smoke effort from Falcons might be a last-ditch attempt. They glyph that top tier 3 for now. And Team Spirit only showing Radahn and his skeletons. Eposhka sat behind him for the Ice Path play. Laurel and Collapse ready to jump at any other targets they spot up in this dire base. There's the initial jump. And I get the Klinks out of there equally. Amar gets out of the Macropire and away from danger. So a little back and forth, but it doesn't...
They tried to blink Force Staff that it Klinks in to roar him in their base and kill him twice. There's actually a Force Staff from Beastmaster. I thought it was a defensive one.
Same.
So he tried to catch him before he backed away, but he turned before the Force Staff came out, making it look like a defensive one.
Cool. That would have been super nifty if it worked.
Appreciate the details and a little cool play.
Smoke under ward. Quinn in position to break.
Dire's top tower is
Radahn smoke does break, but Ruined Collapse still able to charge on forward. Vision on the high ground for Falcons here. I mean, this is do and die in game 2, and Quinn is about to die.
Oh, he'll get
Half health already under the Ice Path. He's sent into the box, but look at Skitter get obliterated. Collapse and Rue charging forward. Radan's Clinks is getting controlled up a lot, but that allows the rest of his team to clean up the mess that has been made. Radan takes down Quinn. Amar's Beastmaster surrounded and slaughtered as Team Spirit on the verge of taking game 2, killing off the Chen army, take out the creeps and move your way up into that dire base.
That's so unfortunate there for Skitter. He got petrified by the neutral creep at the start of the fight, and then he got caught out by the fear from Deadshot. And just, yeah, and it's not even GG, it's end, man.
I thought he was going to do a Quinn quote and say, go ahead mid, I'm done. But there we go. Team Spirit, game 2, tie things up 1 apiece, giving us a game 3. Amar does in the end call a GG. And the Clinks for Radan. Working out this time.
Survivability build on Sven. We'll see what his item build is going to look like, how much he wants to be a farmer, and if he wants to go for early pipe for mitigation. The problem with his heavy plate build and the barrier and the survivability he can bring is that there's a lot of magical damage on Radiant as well. Yes, they have minus armor on Tide TA, but look at Jakiro, Murta, Ember, and even Tide has a fair amount of magical damage going through with Gush, Ravage coming in. So we'll see how it's going to work out, what he wants to go for. I would say I like Team Spirit's draft here. It's looking pretty damn good.
Is there some like exploit here with, I'm not talking about a bug, but I'm talking about mechanics with Kotl chakra magicking here to Warcry non-stop? No, can we just barrier each other over and over again?
I mean, you can double chakra someone pretty effectively when you have recall. So yeah, you can get 12-second CDR. It's 8 seconds duration. So you can't really get full uptime on it, but you can improve the duration with the 10 talent, 5 seconds. I guess you could. You could theoretically do it. 13 seconds duration and you double CDR it. You could basically be perma work ride.
It's pretty insane. And you add in the stuns being spammed out as well.
Yeah. I do believe that it's more likely we're going to see him play around the storm, the more classic, you know, that's the thing that people are likely to do. But as you mentioned, the stun and the work ride, it could be really impactful to combine these two.
Yeah, definitely valuable. We might see it in lane. As we did see there, a slight mismatch in bounty runes. 3 for Team Spirit, 1 for Skitter on the Falcon side. Skitter laning with Snaking up top. Abaddon and Silencer versus a Tide and Muerta. How's this going to go down?
I mean, the cool thing is that they decided to swap around. They put the Abaddon, you know, as a carry here. It's going to be interesting to see. Because I was thinking this would be an off-lane Abaddon, but safe lane Abaddon is really, really strong. Silencer is a very strong laner. This will be a tough lane for Collapse.
Yeah, already dropping very low, close to death. Snaking, keeping that damage going onto Rue as well. Already burning through a lot of that Team Spirit regen in this lane stage. And yeah, they definitely had
bullying them right now.
Yeah, 1v2 zoning out heroes, nearly getting kills. And First Blood's on the menu for Snaking, just waiting for the moment to take it. But there was definitely a long deliberation period, right? When they pick this Abaddon, they go into that last pick of the draft, and they're thinking, do we swap Abaddon to 1, to 3? Do we pick a Sven? They pick the Sven. We all think, oh, carry Sven, offlane Abaddon. And then they do the swap again.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it's going to work out, the Sven on the offlane. Generally, going melee against TA can be a bit tricky. Already getting meld struck and harassed a bit in lane. His CS is not looking good against the TA. She's 10-6 and he is 5-0. So he's hard losing the 1v1 while the supports have been busy doing their own thing.
Collapse, non-stop bullied. Skitter steps up. Snaking hasn't even leveled his second skill yet. He's gonna have...
This is what you had to expect, though. You signed up for this lane. The TA was known for a long time. You wanted to play Sven into it. I think this is a really rough lane for him, and Jakiro only adds to that, since Jakiro is higher impact than Akado in laning stage. So they will have a tough time. Finally, the lane we haven't talked about that much. Mid lane, Quinn is doing a good job for now, CSing against the Ember. But overall, Ember perhaps a bit favored in this matchup. It's very, very even, though it's down to mechanics.
Yeah, mechanics, rotations, rune control, all the nitty-gritty stuff comes into play. But really, these two offlaners, they're going to start, you know, begging and pleading for their supports to go and stack jungle, right? Build up some ancient stacks for Tide and Sven, who are both pretty adept at clearing them, to try and catch up after this resounding loss in the laning stage. And it looks like Miposhka here might just be able to find crit. That's a good TP out, though.
Fighting.
Collapse,
he loses it.
Dead to Snaking at the same time up at top lane.
He thought it was going to be fine. He had the healing Lotus, but you cannot underestimate the impact of glaives over time. Snaking with a lot of stats from the circlets and the branches just brings him down there.
The brain drain begins.
Yeah, -1. That means that Snaking is really low, so he's going to go kill himself on the Ancient. Get back on the lane.
Never hear the end of this.
And then Amar being bullied around by Miposhka. Just wanting to drag his wave onto tower so he can get something. It does mean that, like Jakiro TA, they've got access to large and small camp for pulls. But it looks like that 4-minute rune much more important for Miposhka to go and guard. If they can get themselves a lull refill top and stop Quinn from refilling bottom, that's huge for this mid lane.
Yeah, it's going to be very nice impact. And, you know, when you have both off-laners struggling this bad, whoever can get an edge on mid lane is going to be very impactful. Because their activation will be more important than ever. 6-minute rune is going to be important for both teams to control, as Spirit heroes always want the runes. One problem here for Falcons as well is that you're struggling on the offlaner, and as per usual, Caudle goes and stacks jungle. But an offlane Sven, who is being bullied in lane, doesn't clear jungle that easily. He's got 2 points Great Cleave, and he's gonna try, but this is poor man's jungling compared to a Sand King or a Tide or something going back in jungle. This does not look very fast.
Any of the other heroes, right? Darkseer, Ion Shell, Wraith King with the skeletons, Beastmaster with the axes. And Sven can try his hardest, but bless his little socks. He's got Great Cleave level 2 and 50 HP remaining. Quinn in the meantime having a good old scrap in the mid lane with Laurel. Amar nearly dying to the Warpine Raiders, had to pop a Lotus to stay alive.
He cleared one of the stacks, but...
we've got...
Yeah.
And Rue building stacks of his own.
Of course. And Miposhka invading, going in and just contesting a bit on the Ancients as well, trying to make sure there's no big fallback mechanics for them.
Is this just this Dota2 now? That's what we've devolved into. Pos 3, minute 5, jungling.
Yep. He's beating the Centaur. Magic Stick. Whew. He's winning. Level 5 achieved for this Sven.
Give the man a Quelling Blade. Real action's happening in the mid lane, though. Miposhka with a catapult here, forcing Quinn away from lane. Lal loses quite a fair amount of health there, just the tower hits. But there's damage to the tower, unhealable damage. Not being stopped by Falcons right now.
Snaking with a DD rune.
Yeah, we'll get the rune grab, and Sven TPing in mid as well. They're bringing numbers to try and mitigate their losses. A stun on Jakiro under tower and a zip from Quinn nets them a kill on Miposhka.
Snaking, he has to be the carry. Keep getting that in. He sees top, he sees Tide trying to get away with some farming, and Silencer gets real furious, already running over. Where is he pulling these creeps? What's he gonna try and farm it on? Is it just running away time?
I just don't get caught, right?
This is quite the journey. Come to the gate with me, creeps. Take the gate to bottom.
I don't think they want to follow you there.
Oh no, they all disjointed. Well. Yeah.
And now Collapse. And he's going to go for the TP, knowing there are no stuns up in this lane. So he's got a nice juicy wave arriving in front of his tier 1, which is good. But 7th minute, Wisdom Shrines about to pop up. Both Miposhka and Radan ready and waiting to take it. It looks like on the left-hand side, they're going to have Skitter step in there. Collapse and Rue fighting back into Snaking. Skitter looking for this kill, gets the takedown on Rue. Miposhka and Skitter, both the ones to get the Wisdom Shrines, but Collapse with backup now arriving. Lal is here to try and save his buddy. Abaddon does have a point held with 15 1 charges as well for ulti and the sustain. Actually going to pop it now to turn and heal to full.
Keeps the Silencer safe as well. He doesn't even need to use his shield on him, just holding it ready. And meanwhile, the Sven is being followed by Miposhka, who is looking for the kill even.
Dead? Is he dead here?
It's close. It's close, but the shield. Heavy plate.
Barrier. Meanwhile, Collapse is nearly dead on the left-hand side. It's so far a tale of 2 off lanes. Both Tide and Sven struggling, just scraping the bottom of the barrel for anything.
But Tide is struggling worse because he's losing his tower right now. Abaddon, keeping the catapult alive for a long time, brings down the offlane tower. First big damage dealt in this game.
There's a TA trapping a kobold over on that right side of the map, so free farm for Amar. Very happy about it, but he's going to notice both of his camps have been sentried.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a home right now. Like, Amar is just, he's drawing on the map. Like, I want to move to the other jungle maybe, but then he can't leave bottom. He just want to lose tower. It's just tough days.
I'm going to stop this TA from pushing into you, especially with a Jakiro by her side.
Ultimately, though, Radahn having the freest game ever as TA. Very happily farming.
Yeah, 74, 22, 4,500 net worth. A good 400 ahead of the Abaddon already. And what we're going to see, the Dragonlance Link? Or is he stepping in for a Deso in between them?
Looks like the Deso is going to be bought up, and I don't disagree with it. When you have this free of a game, just farm up, get the damage, and get to a point where Sven can never tank. If you have enough damage on TA, Sven is just food always. And with him being so underfarmed, I think this is the right choice.
And Skitter's Abaddon, Blade Mail lined up for him, so not the Radiance Rush, going for more of a... the ability, at least, to have a bit of a mid-game fighting build. Quinn, crit, and snaking over in the enemy Ancients area.
See them using the Coddle a little bit to try and allow Storm to play aggressive and high tempo.
Oh, look, the shovel for the water rune. Refills Quinn. Coddle provides always.
What true support should do. So at least if bottom is going pretty poorly for them, the mid and top lane are very nice for Falcons. They're getting a lot of value. Even Scions are being allowed to farm lane a little bit, which I'm a big fan of. Abaddon trying to activate, going towards mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, minute 10, Haste Rune spawned. Lol, and the Remnant down south. So that's going to be there for Quinn. And it's also Coddle getting all the farm that's meeting that tier 1 bottom, right? Sansa gets the lane top, Coddle gets the lane bottom, the rest of them jungling and finding value there. And we all know what a Coddle with a few levels and a bit of gold can do.
Definitely. I think level 6 is very critical in this hero. Ever since the recall fast is becoming the play, it allows you to do so much more. You can get your team involved. Maybe with that, he can get Storm into some killing position against the Jakiro down bottom. Still needs half a level though on the Coddle to get level 6.
I'm not sure what Radahn is signaling there. Big old circle. Maybe he's saying Sven hasn't shown his face down here for a good 2 minutes. He must be farming out the rest of the map. Now, it looks like Sven, he's going to be going for this kind of regular carry-ish build. Mask of Manus Echo Saber.
Yeah, he's maxing stun and cleave. Well, cleave primarily, and he's going for the Mask of Manus, as you said. So he's signaling he wants to farm, and I think when you're this far behind, you have to go for this. Otherwise, you're not going to play on a tempo. You're not going to hit a strong timer and somehow end the game. So might as well try and recover. We have always praised Sven for how well he can recover in the jungle, how strong he can become when he has items. The question is, how much can Team Spirit do with this basically offlaner being MIA right now?
Yeah, I mean, at least the Tide has Ravage as a tool they can use to fight around, but it looks like for now, Collapse just trying to TP out of the grasp of Skitter and Snaking. Gets the Fountain with his life, but it's not an easy ride. Meanwhile, Quinn gets the Sniper Miposhka down bottom, and it looks like with Coddle and Sansa's arrival, they'll try and push this for the tier 1.
Yeah, bottom lane does get dangerous very quickly with Storm coming in. They have good lockdown heroes, but until they have Rod of Atos and some extra items coming in, the Shard on the Tide, they're going to struggle to deal with the mobility of Storm with a constant mana refill.
Yeah, and Skitter does a good job just planting himself mid to clear the wave and hold the tower there, and now rejoin the rest of the team.
They could call down Sven if there's a big fight too.
There's a zip. There was a sentry. Rue and pops out of the safety, and Quinn's going to keep giving chase. And Moreta caught up by Quinn. Storm Vortex into the Illuminate. Storm Spirit with another kill. 6 galvanized stacks for him. 2-0-1. A much better start than his Queen of Pain game.
Yeah, he's off to a fantastic start, but the Ember is keeping pace in terms of farm at least. Hasn't found any kills, but Laurel has done a good job maxing out his farm. We'll get that Mage Slayer in a pretty good timing.
It's just great to see, you know, slowly but surely we're having this incremental build-up from Collapse and Amar, who didn't have a lane, haven't had a game the first 6 or 7 minutes, but you look at the net worth board and you don't really feel that massive difference.
Yeah, I mean, all they've been doing is trying to recover. So they're working really hard on fixing their net worth, and they're letting their team kind of shield them and make the moves for them. So both are kind of dead weight in their team right now. Collapse is starting to make his presence known, pushing top, cutting behind creep waves, and has his eyes on this tower. Let's see if Falcons want to defend. They're pretty strong this early on. Global ready as well.
15 camps stacked by Spirit and 12 by Falcons. A very stack-heavy game, as you've been saying, just trying to recover their net worth as they can. But here comes that smoke from Falcons. Crit and snaking. Wandering through that top jungle. Sven is in the vicinity, ready to go.
Yeah, not spotted by the ward.
It's a collapse tide on his own. He's going to get surrounded pretty quickly here as well. He's speedy though, phase boots and in the river, but with Storm Spirit, yep, recalled across. Should make reasonably short work of this Tide Hunter. Just a few little Kraken pops, had 10-1 charges, didn't even bother using them. He knew he was dead.
It feels like infinite mana on Storm when you have this Coddle combination going on. Look at the refill. He spent all that mana. He's still back to full right after the gank. So Quinn looking to play a very fast tempo game with the help of Crit.
Yeah, and Crit has a shovel still, so he's, picking up mangoes and salves. So it's not just the Chakra and the recall, but he's got more tricks up his sleeve.
Setting up for the Tormentor. Quick move down bottom. Already throwing down the sentry, making sure there's no Radiant vision. And Radiant definitely playing slower here, waiting for that TA timing. Like the panel was saying, the shard is big in this game. Blink and shard, his next items in the queue.
How greedy is going for Deso here? Are we waiting for Blink and Shard to come out next before Radahn makes a move? Or are we thinking about contesting Tormentor?
I think the Deso means that they don't want to contest the Tormentor as well. It is pretty greedy considering Tide is having such a rough game. And I think you could have hit the timing with Ember, Mage Slayer, Blink on TA. But
Quinn.
Instead they opt to go this farming route.
Nice path, follow up from the Slight Chains. Good damage and great dead shot. Back into the calling, but the global silence is that massive reset button. Something the panel mentioned, right? Having Abaddon ulti with the global silence, the Kotl and the Storm able to reposition around the map. There's lots of resets and scrappy skirmish tools that Falcons have.
Yeah, and the heal. Look at it. Kotl says, okay, you're low HP. Just gonna throw some blast at my entire team. Just gonna dodge. Easy. Mana is still fixed up. He's working on fixing the HP on Storm. Storm was heading base, but you never really need to go base when you have this this non-stop healing coming in. And Sven
just keeps it going.
Almost at the Echo Saber. Mask Commander's Echo is complete, so he's getting there.
Oh, he's caught up tremendously well. Almost at 7,000 net worth. All right, here's the blink on TA.
Collapse going for Julesep, the first item. No Vladimirs. This is definitely unusual. Of course, he is playing as the silencer. He wants to be able to ravage, but there's still not really inspiring confidence in me.
I guess against the Abaddon build. Abaddon with the ulti as well.
Yeah.
But he's going to get zipped on here. Skitter and Quinn close in on Collapse. There is Ravage ready, and his Yule Scepter there on the Abaddon might set up for an ice path. Follow through from Radahn and Rue. Skitter holding the ulti for as long as possible. Tons of one charges and healing Lotus for him. Skitter, ulti popped, and Team Spirit chasing him down. I don't know if he can survive the rest of this. Falcons team nearby, but not wanting to commit to a fight, so Team Spirit just run this Abaddon down into the ground, pummeling him over and over again with no response from the rest of the Dire team. They're even going to Ravage for him. All right.
Wow.
Calm down, Collapse.
Dear God, he wanted him dead. Gets the last hit. Ravage for the last hit. It feels like there has to have been a moment to turn that fight around. Full mana on the Storm during that. The Abaddon living for that long is just like, really, guys? We can't punish this? 5 heroes running next to each other. Murta, 0 mana. But in the end, they just sell him and gonna keep farming, dodging for now. They don't want to fight into the big team fight of Radiant.
I mean, maybe when you see that TA with Blink Deso, you're like, maybe not a fight we want to take. Like the 11,400 net worth, Radahn is gapping people. 3k difference between him and Storm?
I mean, he did have the freest lane ever. I don't know what a last pick Sven to the off lane against the safe lane TA does. It's definitely not threatening, I can tell you that much.
Well, now Ravage is down. They've got a free opening onto Collapse. He grabbed the shield rune. Stormhammer's good. Calling place down to slow the advance, and Skitter's just dead. The Abandon gets shredded. Lol is going to be able to slide and maybe get a bit of distance, but the Global gives the coverage for Storm to zip back in, but they don't have the damage. Quinn's got to zip out of there now. Amar is committing. He's fallen. What is going on? Rue's in the midst of battle. Quinn's in an ice path, falling to Team Spirit, and Radahn is shredding them.
Oh boy,
What
the
did we
silence
just
coming
witness?
in. The silence from the TA shard just messing them up there in the middle of that fight as well. Overcommitment. Abaddon didn't have ulti when the fight started. I think they underestimated how important that is for them to have 10 seconds cooldown as they begin the chase here. And the beautiful calling going down. Look at that positioning. They forced through this. Very dangerous.
It's just the damage on the Abaddon just comes out of nowhere. And then, yeah, you're right. These TA traps, huh? The silence just continues on the Storm.
Yeah. Yeah, it stopped Storm from bringing down the Ember. So it kept Ember alive for a long time, and then he had to overcommit. Meanwhile, back in live, they're trying to go down bottom, pushing out, but the sneaky Coddle playing the edge of map. This is also where he has to have a lot of sentries, because TA traps can mess with this type of gameplay from Coddle. Having the shard, they have increased vision now.
Spirit are coming for them. Look at this train heading down bottom. There's dire
Bad
vision.
intentions.
Full sense of security maybe for the Storm Spirit. And they'll see the Ember. He pushes out the lane alone. Quinn, don't think about going. He's going to walk right into them. Flight chains, no defensive tools. Down you go. They saw the Coddle too, hey?
Coddle, the spear clips him. I like that the moment the Storm showed himself, 3 immediate abilities landed on him. Steering Chain, TA Trap Silence, and the Rod of Atos were all clicked the moment they showed from Fog of War. And no way out for him. He didn't have a chance to dodge any of them.
They've been trained well. I'm so scared of this Templar Assassin, man. How happy are you to see a TA like this?
I mean, I'm happy to see it, but also it feels so odd to me. Normally I see TA and people counterpick it, but this game, there was not really any counterpick. All the heroes on Falcons are honestly shit against TA. Like, none of them are good against TA. The supports are really bad, and the Sven offlane was just, I mean, probably one of the weakest laners I can think of against TA, as far as offlane pool goes.
How late was the pick? We've seen a lot of first pick TA, right? Then it gets countered, but this was more...
TA was
third, fourth,
phase.
right?
The second phase, yeah. So,
covered very nicely.
I did expect them to pick the TA or the Sven, but somehow it just felt like that should have been the carry, and you gotta somehow work with like a Silencer Abaddon on the lane at least, something that can threaten Dispel off the meld.
Something. By the way, this is going now. 3k lead, 7-7, but it's Team Spirit dictating the pace of play. They've got Aegis on this Templar Assassin, and Radahn shows no sign of slowing down. Hurricane Pike, Blink, 12 stacks on Deso, tons of maneuverability with all of his damage.
Deso damage building up is actually a big thing. Getting these kills, it really feels nice when you're getting to scale like this. They don't want to give up anything, but they actually do lose their Wisdom rune, which was still there 1 minute after spawn. Amar getting something for himself.
Thank you very much.
Arcane rune.
The next. Oh yeah, Storm Spirit.
Hey, he gets silenced on the trap.
Oh, you're right. He still might be done for. Dead shot's good. Follow through. Is it coming? With a slight but no chains. They can't keep on going.
Ember doesn't really want to dive in there. Ultimately, though, that's a lot of resources just to run away. So mid tower, not gonna be defendable as Storm has nothing.
That's crumbling. This has got to be a couple of minutes of dodging by the Falcons, right? Surely they don't want to go fight into this, huh?
No, they have the Radiance timing on Abaddon, so they want to try and get something out of this. The missed chance is really good against TA. Get the burn.
Radahn out in the open. He'll get jumped and stunned by the Sven. Vortex from the Storm. A lot of control, but the damage isn't quite there. First life. It's a struggle to bring down this TA, but they've got it done. Collapse. Yules into the sky towards the Abaddon, holding the Ravage for now as the TA respawns and blinks away. Radan has the distance, and that Abaddon ulti already expended. Could be problematic for Skitter. They've got slight chains on the Storm. A shield to save him, though. This means Skitter is once again further isolated for the big Ravage out of Collapse. Clips the Abaddon and the Storm, but in comes Sven again. Pushes Collapse back. Quinn about to get the kill. They take him down. The Sven, he's moved back in. Quinn is about to die, though, Storm, as Crit is caught. Another slight chains. Lal will find the Cottle. A 2-for-1. Storm and the Cottle for the Tide.
2-for-1, but now the aftermath as well. They might force a buyback here. The push coming in with the Destel, with the Crystallis on T as well. At least gonna get the glyph out of them. Radan wants to stick around, does not want to back immediately. The death timer on the Storm is pretty long. With ulti on cooldown Abaddon as well, he can't go in. We saw what happened when he doesn't have ulti ready.
The only ulti they've got is Ball Lightning, and Storm's dead.
Oh, look, he's got vision on him. He's got.
No, he's all right.
Fine. No Orb of Venom on the TA. He doesn't have the counter.
He's not teched into it.
Yeah, of course.
There goes the tier 3.
For the viewers, that's the counter to Gossamer. You buy an Orb of Venom, gives you True Strike. Kind of broken.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. For one attack at least, which is all TA cares about, the first attack landing. But ultimately big damage for Falcons. Now sitting back, looking to recover. The Sven desperately needs BKB to fight. He has the blink, yes, he has a lot of damage output, but he cannot go in because of the Jakiro, the Ember, and the Murta. Even the Ravage. Too much teamfight control. Trying to catch Skeeter.
They see him. An early shield forced out with the Rod of Atos.
It's gonna
He
be
does
ulti.
have that ulti. I'll try and keep the control going, though. And this Abaddon all
Dead
on
in
his
the water.
own. Yeah, he's been left and ditched by the rest of his team.
Did some return damage to Ember, but Ember can easily fix that as well. Can TP base and jump out again if he wants to. As they've
So much
spotted
kiting.
Sven farming their Ancient. Some shameless behavior by Sven.
And in comes Laurel. Yeah, this is the thing, right? You can just poke and prod. You're kiting for days. Chains, Ice Path, and then the damage from Radan secures yet another kill.
Yeah,
Just trying to think about that last fight and how it all went. You know, there's Radiant's timing. The God Strength from Sven is level 2. They got a jump. It looked okay. But then they just get stuck in this quicksand of bullshit that Spirit put on the floor.
That's a good way to put it. I think the tough part was the Aegis on TA in that fight, though. If that was a fight without Aegis, that would be very tricky for Team Spirit. So it speaks a little bit to the strength of Falcons. Sadly, though, after losing that fight and all the farming done by Radiant after it, now they have to just stall out for these timings, get the BKB on the Sven. They have BKB on Storm, so that's huge for him. Getting Manta on Abaddon would be ideal. Then you get a Dispel against all these different things. I mean, this is probably one of the best Manta games ever. TA Silence, Jakiro stuff, Searing Chains. Even against Murta Silence and Gush, you don't mind it.
Yeah, get out of the swamp. Get out of the quicksand. That's what Manta does.
Yeah. Big move coming in with the smoke.
Yeah, let's move on to the Muerta. Trying to blow him up, but the Yules now pierce the veil, gets the distance away. Falcons, they've tried to strike, but now they're the ones on the run. Lal is trying to catch up to someone as the Storm Spirit is silenced and leashed, getting caught up in the fear and the control. Team Spirit not wanting to hard commit onto Quinn, though. It looks like with that BKB still ready, they're holding out for it as Amar goes in with his BKB, but the damage just comes too quickly. Radan has shredded the Sven. Skitter's ulti's going, but he's still half HP, and they lose Crit immediately. A big Ravage from a collapse. Storm's caught up in the stuns. Skitter, he looks pretty done here. Radan's Templar Assassin stands strong and destroys them. Falcons 4 down, 1 casualty from Spirit, and they are ready to go high ground again.
Amar fucked up. He used Silence on the Mask of Madness without using Warcry. If you got Warcry out, he won't die in 2 hits from TA there. But Mask of Madness reducing your armor and you not popping Warcry. The Sven had 1 armor before TA Desto comes in. Desto plus Nemesis Curse. He literally died in like 2 hits.
That's why Miposhka's tipping him, huh?
Yeah.
They don't need to type the words. Amar knows what they're saying just through a tip.
He also got
Falcons.
dodged. He got dodged by the Sleight of Fist, so it was despair all over the place.
Was Quinn trying to deny the tower? He zips over and then again away.
He's trying to do whatever he can. But I like this discipline from Team Spirit. Says, you know what? We don't need to Rax even more. Already got the mid Rax. Just back out, play the fields. They have great TA traps to hold control. So the only way Falcons get out on the map is basically by smoking. And I don't think that they have the gold yet for a gem. No. They're trying to get the Aghanim Scepter on the Caudal. 2.5k gold on him. Meanwhile, Murta already has the Rod of Aegis and Aghanim Scepter combination. We've seen time and time again how strong that is.
Level 15. Aghanims, Atos, Rue having some incredible Muerta games.
Yeah, Rue and Murta is looking great. Just able to play pretty aggressive as well without dying with that ulti, keeping him safe.
Almost a full Daedalus on that courier. Taken out for a good 3 minutes.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Let's see if Team Spirit care.
It'll slow them down a bit,
Falcons.
but TA still... She could donate away a Daedalus and still be about a Daedalus ahead of any hero on Dire, so her net worth is disgusting right now.
Double Daedalus ahead at this point.
Yeah.
Massive advantage. And Rue is going to rebuff them from the Radiant Ancient spot. Snaking, scent packing. He's still going to get caught by Radan, though. And in the meantime, you've got raised barracks taking some chip damage bottom. Lyle sneakily slips into that Dire base. And then jumps out to mid lane where he sees Skitter. Walks into the Abaddon. Amar is in the neighborhood, but it's just, hey, how you doing? Then walk away.
At this time, Skitter not going to get his ulti forced. Has to be so cautious. Normally you feel unkillable as an Abaddon, but this game they have great heroes to kind of keep him in place with the Dead in the Water from Tide. Some good abilities like Ice Path to kind of delay the kill.
This could be the killing blow. Radan trying to go for the jugular here as Amar projectiles flying, but he's got the shields already. The rest of them smoked in behind the TA. Storm zips down south, but the chase is on to the east where Collapse with Radan. Okay. That was a coddle.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage coming in. Held in place Gush combo. TA Tide gives you everything, man.
Oh, the glyph on the bottom creep wave. That's real insulting to Quinn.
They have no fear of losing buildings, so might as well glyph for these creep waves. And they're just playing to keep control on the map right now. They know that Roche is going to spawn soon. They know exactly when it's going to spawn as well.
We've got a shark in the water. Quinn's pretty low on mana. He's going to be able to zip and, I guess, BKB TP.
He has to.
He's got to, right?
Time?
Yeah. He's fine.
Yeah, fine. Completely fine. Not even cutting it close. Fine limit testing.
Yeah. Perfectly fine.
And he's back to base. Everyone is shoved away from the area as well with this forward move by Ember, securing the Roche by pushing out the mid wave. Now they can go back, take an easy Roche. And Falcons, what are you building for? The Manta Style complete on Abaddon. That's going to help them a little bit, but they need so much more.
The roar.
Absolutely no way contesting this Roche.
No.
The Caudal Aghanim Scepter has to be the biggest timing for them. If they finish that up, they can maybe hold a high ground defense. But he's still at 3.5k gold. Needs to get 4.2. Finish up the entire Ags.
It's still a pretty monumental challenge for Falcons just to keep these waves pushed out to begin with. And bottom lane shoved by the Abaddon Illusions. Mid lane needs that Cottle to stick around and play with the Illuminate. And a smoke from Falcons is about to be scouted by the Invis Ember Spirit. He walks up into a sentry, but it looks like he's okay with the covering fire of the dead shot and a TA trap that barely misses out on Quinn, who zips in. Pokes at Radan. Collapse goes forward onto the Storm. Global Stance covering, though, for Amar to kill Miposhka. Jakiro trades out for snaking, support for support, but Radan, the TA, the big target in the middle, being focused by Skitter. Getting a bit of distance, and still has BKB with the Aegis, of course. So second life coming, while we've got the Sven going deep. Collapse and Rue have surrounded him. TA gets off her BKB. Sven gets Atos up, caught, rooted, and about to be finished. Radan needs some help, though, and the Ravage will give it. Collapse is there to buy the time to turn around and fight into Quinn. The Sideblade spills. The damage is good. Skitter's Blade Mail almost killed Radan, but now he's going to get turned on. With multi available, you'll buy a bit of time, but this is just delaying the inevitable demise. The multi-Yule Scepter Cyclone synergy here, destroying Skitter's chances. Rue and Lol, they're getting on top of him. Another 4 for 1. Plus one of the ages, I guess.
It was a pretty impressive fight, though, still from Falcons. They did what they could, got a quick burst on a support. Abaddon locked onto TA, brought down the Aegis, but they don't have enough in the tank to bring down the TA once the storm, you know, falls towards the end there. Abaddon just left alone. Still gotta respect that they ignore the Ember and try to go on the important targets, the easy-to-kill supports, and get on the TA, who is representing, like, 50% of the team's total damage output right now. So if you don't go on her, you just lose.
Silence might straight up die to Lol. Crit's courier is dead. That's a tragedy. And it was 200 off of the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh no. He had components on it as well, so he won't be able to just go and buy the items. Yes, Aghanim's components on it.
And now, defense of the top tier 2?
Yeah, they do have that sort of saving grace for their mega creep status right now. Otherwise, that would just be a push towards top tower. TA bought a Lincoln, so adding a safety tool to herself.
Oh, Crit looks... Oh, they saw Sven. They saw Crit, they saw Sven. Who do we go for? Left or right, up or down?
Crit is relocating out.
Yeah, he's gone.
Dips down to bottom lane, but that means top tower is going to be forfeit. The time until this high ground push is coming. Still 1.5 minutes on that Aghanim. So I said it was going to be so important for the Caudal, and I don't think it's going to get it in time, man. They're just heading for your base.
And keeping multiple lanes pushed in. Ember Spirit deals with mid. The rest of them are up at top. Falcons only controlling one lane, really. And even though they're farming Ancients and getting some gold, it doesn't feel like this next round of items outside of that Caudal Aghanim Scepter is going to do a whole lot. And they've got to come back and defend, no matter what. Skitter returns. Amar is going to try and finish off a Harpoon if he can. He's pretty close to it.
He's got it. He does not have TP ready, so if a fight breaks out, he can't get there that easily. He has to try and run over if someone goes in.
Hold. Get front lining and giving a bit of vision. Seeing what's coming up that hill. Down. And there's a terrifying monster of Team Spirit, but they jump in, pop the Lincolns on the TA, but the Cyclone there. Buys a bit of time for Adan to get down and get a BKB, force-staffed out of the grasp of Skitter. Anchor thrown at him, and Collapse still has his Ravage ready to play with. Lol and Rue focusing on this Abaddon to control him up through the ultimate. The heals, it looks like it'll bring Skitter back to full health, but now Collapse can walk forward. Lol diving deep. Ravage still ready, but Amar's in the back onto Miposhka trying to kill the Jakiro, but it's not enough damage. He's dead yet again. Falls so quickly, it's almost as if he wasn't there to begin with. And Lol, another slide chains, catches the Abaddon, forces the shield and the retreat. The tier 3 tower is here to be claimed, but Falcons have a glyph.
Sven again finding himself next to TA without popping Warcry, man. You just die. You can't use Mask of Madness next to this hero. It does not work. The Wind Waker can save the Ember. Needs to.
Yeah, I mean,
there it is.
I feel like Lol cares an awful lot. There's multiple Yule Scepters, tons of protection, giving him the coverage, and the rest of the team just hitting buildings. Quinn gonna zip-zap in and out. Dangerous prospect into the calling and the TA traps, and that's it. Mega creeps, they'll be coming. The final Rax falls, Falcons on their last legs.
They're trying to hold on, but the siege is just gonna keep going. TA can just stand here and take pot shots at all the buildings. And what are you gonna do? Who's gonna go on her?
Oh, you don't have to storm BKB. So the silence, the stuns. Okay, they've got a Yule Scepter here. Lol, self-Yules to save himself. Quinn looks a little worse for wear. I thought they were going to commit on him, but it is just buildings from Radan. Focusing the tier 4s, not going for these final hero kills. And maybe one more chance for Falcons.
This Wind Waker was so smart pickup before the push. It's an unorthodox build on Tide, but it's working, man. Gotta stay the TA here.
Popping his spells, jumping in onto the TA. She's half HP. They've got good damage, and Radan is dead. They don't get the Cyclone on her this time, and the chase is on. Falcons desperately scrambling for anything they can get, but the Storm Spirit is chain silenced. Ravage comes in. They don't need the TA to fight back. Falcons buy back onto Quinn, and they're gonna take down the Lol Ember Spirit inside their base.
Null fire timing on the Abaddon brings down. I didn't see they just disassemble his Radiance to get the Nullifier before that fight started. So nice way to, of course, get a quick counter for the Wind Waker play. Get rid of a Radiance. Does mean he lost some AoE damage, but single target's not possible. He kind of wishes he could just go back for it immediately, because right now he gotta deal with mega creeps. If he was Gyro, he could disassemble back and forth. You just have whatever you want.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Nice.
That'll be some interesting tech to
Naked
see.
exposed throne. Super sad as well.
They're trying their best to hold on to the game. And I think Team Spirit, they just say, all right, next Roche, you know, get level 25 on TA and the refraction charges. That'll make the push a lot easier, but Falcons holding on hope. This gives them momentum to finish up a few items. They got that Aghanim Scepter on the Caudal. Sven is getting quite rich, getting towards a Brooch.
Not a bad swing in gold there for them.
Even for Storm, just getting a casual plate mail towards that Shivas is going to be big. Getting some survivability against the big right clicks.
Just rough if Storm has to BKB TP out of the top lane. And he's been given the anchor by Collapse.
Oh, Ember's
Yules
here.
into the sky. Ember Spirit has rotated in, so Quinn has to BKB Ball Lightning TP. Lol, not done, but yeah, Quinn is.
Good reaction. Amar gonna get out. He was spotted taking over the Watcher, but gets to safety.
Yeah. I mean, there's no glyph for a minute 40 on the Dire side. As Throne's open, the creeps are arriving at the Dire base.
They have the split blink on TA.
I was wondering if we could just go Throne, but it looks like they're going Quinn instead. Same thing, in theory. If they get this Storm Spirit, knowing he has no BKB. Cyclone, but the global, the Yule Scepter on the Storm. Do we have the stuns to come before that? No, we do not.
Oh no,
Global
that's
gives
not
him
far
the
enough.
coverage, but the fear, dead shot into Remnant forward. They've got the chains on him now. Quinn in serious trouble, about to be dropped. The Ravage isn't going to clip him though. He's back in Fountain, safe and sound. The Abaddon, he's fine as well. Skitter steps back as Radan tries to BKB open up on him, but Team Spirit have kind of whiffed this. Sven? Amar? He jumps in very aggressively, but Ogre Seal Totem back to the high ground. That's Falcons expending everything.
Team Spirit used a lot as well, though. They used the Ravage, and they committed in for this. Falcons did, you know, get some cooldowns, but they didn't lose their Abaddon ulti, so I think we're gonna see Spirit just say they regroup. They know the Roshan is about to be up.
Hold a bit of terrain.
Surviving that Storm BKB cooldown was massive for Falcons. This keeps them in the game, able to have another chance at a fight.
They're playing under Dire Vision here, Spirit. They
Another
back up and
smoke.
smoke. They ping
They
Amar.
don't have the Hex yet. They're trying to build a Hex on Tide, but he doesn't have it.
Blink. He cannot blink in time. Collapse, Cyclone into Ice Path. No protection, no buyback. Sven down and out. Falcons now in a 4 versus 5 with the throne open. They've got a glyph and a dream to try and hold on to this.
Yeah.
Spirit, like you said, is coming back for the safe route, going for Roshan.
I mean, they could just go, but why would you not take Roche when there's no way for Falcons to contest this? They can zip over and try and steal it. As they hear the roar, they know what's up. You almost have to go for a play here with Storm. I think if you give away Aegis, you ought to lose, but it's also a lot to ask to blindly steal this one. No steal attempt coming in, so Radan gonna happily pick up that Aegis Refresher Shard on Tide. Also massive.
Double Roshan banner for TA. They should combine into something, you know? Take 2 banners, you make a coat. Or a cape.
3 banners in a trench coat. Just a super tall banner.
Or a nice little red carpet for TA to walk down, you know? Straight to the throne. Into this
Carpet is down
Dire
mid.
base. Which Lol is doing right now. Yeah, the red carpet for him put out by himself. Move on to the Storm Spirit, nearly kill him off with the Radan damage, and now focus the throne. Glyph is available, so they can buy a bit of time through this Will-O-Wisp and delay tactics. Sven has also respawned. So Storm jumping into this TA, trying to force out the Aegis, some kind of defensive play. Nothing working out for Falcons just yet, though. and they've got to deal with mega creeps under the banner glyph while TA starts pumping damage onto the throne. They do jump in with a Sven and a Baden. Collapse, though, strong and tanky, holding Ravage and Refresher Shard. Might be able to just walk into this one as Quinn BBs to battle back into Radan, but lol, he grabs a double kill in the back lines, finding the pickoffs they need. Quinn and Skit are about to be slain here as Team Spirit rack up the kills right next to the throne and force out the GG.
He celebrates.
Double Ravage from Collapse right in the fountain. That's where he belongs.